Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today we have on Crash Diet, we have on Martin and Gabriel. How are you guys?
Very good.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. The weather is nice and yeah,
Right,
all
what's the
good.
temperature right now for you guys?
It's like 25 degrees maybe around there.
Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
Yeah,
Not
to me,
Fahrenheit,
25
not
Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
25 for me, I'm like, oh, it's time for an igloo. I mean, it gets kind of cold here. Yeah, ours is like, 70, 80, degrees
Yeah,
is our good spots
Yeah.
over here in New England. So, been a crazy time. You guys got a new album out. COVID, you guys actually did a live stream not that while ago, right?
Yeah.
Been kind of busy,
2 years.
you guys, because it's kind of yeah. Well, I'm saying the COVID time frame for me is really hard because it feels like it's just like 10 minutes because it's like it freezes time with videos and releases for artists because you do an album right before COVID and some people still haven't toured on it yet. So it's like a hot minute and some people have gotten 2 albums out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I agree. It's very confusing.
and you guys had just had something out in
Yeah.
2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
kind
Late.
of during it,
September.
September 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Rust.
It's a good album. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, Gabriel, you're a newer singer, but but the albums though overall though, like vocally, they're always a little different. But there's always a good wheelhouse. So it's like the fans are not like getting like a brand new style. You guys have your DNA of who you guys are. A fan knows what they're gonna
Yeah.
get. You're gonna get a certain singer, and vocally it's gonna be strong and maybe a little bit high and clean, but then raspy, but then can do different voices. And that speaks a lot to you, Gabriel, and to be able to carry on when you guys are writing songs. The challenge of the last album, though, with COVID, let's kind of like really start there. I mean, what you guys end up doing for that to keep it out there?
We only did like a tour, two smaller tours for Rust,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. It was all over. No, but yeah.
We were just on our way to South America when COVID hit, and we were literally waiting to go to the airport.
Yeah.
We're
So
just
it's like-
sitting there and like, should we stay or should we go?
And our drummer was already there, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, everything is good here.
Yeah,
Just
come
sipping
over,
some,
man."
sipping some drinks on the beach and having a good time." So he was like, "No, come over. It's fine here. We can do this." And then everything started to shut down. So we were like, "Okay, I don't think we should do this. 'Cause
Yeah.
we don't want to end up not coming home."
Crap. It's funny. I've heard a lot of artists speaking to them after in a time period. A lot of them get the call. They're on their bus at airports. I feel like if there's a photographer taking pictures when everybody got the moment the COVID tour closed, like it'd be like one of those big picture books. It'd be like artists sitting at the airport like this, like on their bus, like all these sad people just like waiting for the phone call.
Yeah.
Like the saddest photo book ever.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to music. I'm so glad things are opening up, and the challenge I think is because touring the world and during COVID, things were shutting down, and different countries had different rules, so it's kind of inconsistent and hard for a band to plan financially, to survive. But you took this time, made another album, a really good album, What's been the process for that, for songwriting? Because obviously, Martin, you've been with the band since the inception in songwriting. How has it changed over the years as far as writing originally, the style, the changing, production, as you've gotten better as a writer? You know what the fans like, you know what you like. Do you kind of fall into a rhythm,
Well, actually not. um, well, I used to write, well, I always have written with the singers, and when we've changed frontman, I started writing with a new guy. So it's been kind of everything changes that way in a way, because you have to like adjust it to certain vocal styles, and the last album, Rust, we were kind of just trying what his voice was fitting for it, the styles are the styles of the songs are a little bit all over the place.
Spread, yeah.
I like it. I use the word eclectic. I actually kind of like it because being a fan
some
of you
people
and
like it.
different...
I think it's a good album, but when I think of it, I think it's a little shattered. But when we started doing this new album, we kind of have had this focus from the beginning.
Right.
Like we're
How long
gonna do this, and we're gonna do it with a producer from the beginning.
had you been working, Gabriel? You guys were working together before you recorded the album. Like have you guys written songs together? Because sometimes, like when you get a new singer in and a different artist in, or a new member of the band, and then you bring a new member in, you guys are like learning each other, you know, as you're writing, and then like you're like, all right, I get this, and it's a good album. It's kind of very eclectic because it's like Gabriel bringing your style, you're bringing your style, and you're kind of creating your new model. And then by the next couple albums in, you kind of get that groove. I mean, it even happens like when Van Halen got Sammy Hagar's, and like as an easy example, you know what I mean? It's because you're kind of finding who you are, your dance steps. And now you guys have, and then you haven't toured, like play together, and now you've been really kind of got your legs underneath you together playing. The album feels, you know, it's a little different.
Yeah, we pretty much know that his voice can do pretty much anything. So we had this.
Yes, Gabriel, kudos to you. I really like your voice.
They call me the Emperor. They call me the Emperor.
Really? I try that at my house, but none of my kids won't listen to me. They're like, you're the Joker. Man. You're not the Emperor.
I think I have pretty, like, a wide, what do you say, range that you can do certain things with. So.
He has a like endless range, and he also has different
voices.
Kinds of voice. Yeah,
I think different voices, like almost like
ballad voices and like whiskey voice, or you know.
That's why I do like the whiskey voice. That's what's common. I like that raspy voice. But at the right point in choruses, and when you're getting the high power point, the angel chords, I like to call them, that make you feel good. Those big. I think when you get the raspy voice, and you can like mix in your higher voice together, you know, like in a mix, it's just so powerful. Yeah. You know, a big chorus. You know, that's one thing you've never changed is the sensibility of like just a really good rock song. And I think you said, and we both kind of said, writing to the style of the singer is really made it so it's not like when you put in your music, like each album is like, oh my God, this is like a different band. It's like 4 different bands. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's CRASHDIET, and there's a similarity because you work with the vocals in the range, you know?
Yeah, mostly we do that. You know? And I think the difference between the new album and the Rust album is, well, the Rust was self-produced. I tried to produce it, you know.
Did a good job.
I do too. I wouldn't mind thinking it sounds any different. Like it doesn't sound like it was like, you know, not produced by somebody, you know, well.
Yeah. But it was really, I mean, the reason I didn't do the next album was it's too much work. It's like I couldn't handle, you know, that, you know, writing and recording and producing and you know,
taking care
of all the band dynamics and so we wanted to have a producer who does all the heavy lifting. And he was pretty much Andreas Wärling. He was in it from the songwriting stage,
from the pre-production
until the end.
The end, yeah. And I think also he was really good at bringing out like more the best out of my voice as well. Yeah. So we really took the time to nail it.
That's good. Maybe it's good to have a good cop, bad cop, because if you're the guitar player and you're also the friend and you're the songwriter, you're touring.
Yeah,
exactly. You want to irritate and be like, I think you could do better. Like you're trying to get somebody's personal best, and the guy will be like, I think you're criticizing me. Like if you have somebody from the outside, you can be mad at him, pushing you. And
exactly.
Then you know,
you're a bit too nice, you know. And I'm not like, I don't really like being social. I'm not, and it's you know, but it was nice to just sit back and
that's also the best quote I've heard in an interview. Well, maybe somebody, I don't like to be social. So you get the number one quote for interview.
I think he brought the best out of everybody. Like Andreas.
Yeah.
So he did a
he
good
did
job in the studio and was really involved in all areas, you know, all aspects.
What's the process for you guys keeping your act together musically during this time? Like, are you, both of you working on your vocals? Like, is it rehearsal? Is it like practicing your guitar every day? Or do you just not practice anymore? You just noodle and play songs for your practice? Because everyone has a different way of doing things. And through those processes, they come up with ideas for songs, or they say, 8 o'clock in the morning to 12, it's song time. You know what I mean? And it's my practice time, it's my song time. What's the process, especially with COVID now, to keep sharp?
Yeah, I think I was pretty lazy during COVID.
Another great interview question. This is just going to be like the best quotes.
So the answer is pretty disappointing because we did nothing. You know,
I'm just asking you.
We did that live stream show, and it was like a hassle to get that together, and we were like never again.
I watched it. It was fun.
I know, but it was so much work to get it done, and we kind of like, oh, everybody's doing it, and you know, it was not free.
No.
Yeah.
To the fans' point,
but the outcome of the live stream was good, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the finances.
It was fun to do. The performance was fun to do, you know. But after, we were kind of like, we didn't have the energy to do it again.
It's okay. I think there's no right and wrong. That's what I'm kind of saying. I think obviously there's like two levels. There's like there's the surviving band, the finances of doing it the day by day. And then there's like the legacy. The last album you did, Rust, is going to be definitely a legacy piece because you're going to be like, people are going to go back and go, that's kind of my favorite one because it's got a lot of different stuff on it. Like if I'm in the mood for something different, if I want a rock album, just go straight out, I'm going to put it in Automation, you know. But you know, I'm kind of in a different mood today. I'm going to put in Rust. I have some of my favorite bands have some really albums that are just so eclectic like that, where it's like, you just don't know what you want. It kind of becomes like a fan favorite, you know, like a sleeper. Just step out and like the live streams, these are great. I know some artists are like, oh, I don't know, it feels like I'm pandering, I'm doing this and that. It's a video concert, and you have people that will never be able to see you, that love you, and they got a good production quality video of you. That might be the only concert they see of you. That's a gift to the fans, and that's kind of what you're into this for, right? So on some level,
the purpose,
that's the good side of it. I mean, I'm sure if it's financially, it's a kick in the butt or whatever. I don't know. That sucks. But if you survive it and you move on, you have this great piece that's always going to be there on the internet. And it's a good performance. It's nothing embarrassing. It's good. It's a good, tight show that you can be proud of. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. It's because I can step away from it and look at it. The person I mean.
Exactly.
It's just a really good show of a time in your life.
Yeah, I remember, and I was like, how am I supposed to act in front of a camera and not in front of an audience? I was like, oh shit, I don't know how to do it, but it actually felt pretty natural when we came out, because we hadn't played for a long time, so it was like a fun rehearsal.
That's a lot of people saw it as a rehearsal, and I've seen some artists, some of the great things, they'll actually stop and they've talked to the audience, like they're at their couch, they've had some fun times. I've seen some great performances like that, and I think it showed. Was the end? You guys had some questions too. That was kind of fun, if I'm remembering it correctly, right? Did you have something at the end of your show?
Yeah,
in the beginning, actually.
Wasn't it in the beginning? It was after, but it was very short.
It was tagged in on the video at the end, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. We had some sort of Q&A or something after the live stream, but I remember we didn't have the time, so it was pretty short Q&A. But you know.
Yeah,
but
as a fan, people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like the goofiness. People like to see, you know, even an interview like this, they like to see the real. And you're like, oh, it's kind of disappointing. I wasn't practicing. No, that's what people want to know, because a lot of people don't do certain things. We all have our own foils in life we don't do.
Yeah.
People like to know the real band. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do if I'm not playing guitar? Do you're practicing, or you know what I mean, during your off time?
Yeah.
Some people get off tour and put their guitar away for 3 months, 4 months. They don't play at all. Like, do you play a lot even when you're not touring? Your guitar?
Yeah, well, I always record, if it's covers or just.
But do you practice or you just kind of always messing around?
No, I don't practice like scales and stuff. But I always play a lot, you know.
Right.
But when I record, it's a kind of a practice for me because I eventually have to learn when I
Well, there's
record
no
it.
wrong, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no wrong answer. Just every artist has a different way. It's always amazing
Yeah.
that the artist sounds so great. They're like, I've talked to artists and guitar players. You're like, you know, they're monsters on guitar, and they're like, I haven't touched it since last year. I don't even have calluses anymore. They're like, my hands would bleed if I touched my guitar, and they're like a guitar wizard. You're like, what? And you know they're gonna go up and play awesome again. So it's just interesting how some people can just do different ways of creating.
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, when we're on tour, I really need to warm up my fingers, you know, for like
always have
15 minutes just to get them going, you know, because else I'm gonna play like shit.
Gabriel, when you're singing, are you following any rules like, you know, like no dairy the day before, or you're not eating, you know, 5 hours before you sing? Are you one of those young guys that could do like no dairy, eating certain foods? Like when you're gonna perform and play out, are you not eating certain foods? Because some people can just like do whatever, and some artists are like, I don't talk the last couple hours. I'm not eating heavy because I don't want to be singing high notes after eating like, you know, a roast beef sandwich.
It's always impossible for me to be quiet, but I think I learned a lot this tour about my voice and how to do it more properly. I think I basically drink too much during this tour, and so I think it was a good experience for the future to know how to really handle my voice in a good way, so you don't get. I actually got sick so I was sick like half of the tour, and I was sitting here. So, but it went good. So I'm trying to. I think what I decided to do when I came home is that I will practice more, because I think thought I was practicing enough, but it takes more practice than you really know. So it was a good experience for me. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing people forget is it's an instrument. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if someone's playing for a couple hours, just warming up or working on songs, are you singing for a couple hours every day? Are you working your instrument? And if your instrument gets messed up during a tour, it's not like, you know, guitar, my fingers hurt or they're cold, I can put gloves on. You get a cold. No. It's a, you know, it's a big thing.
You're gonna need a doctor, and that is not either good to take like steroids for your voice in the long run. So the best is just to try to say like, to really understand your voice. And
it's interesting because you guys are the generation, I'm like 51, you guys are like about 10 years ish younger than me, but the kind of music you guys do is kind of music like back in the 80s and 90s where it was a party time. It's the music, it's fun. But a lot of the peers that have led the way now are actually living like cleaner lives because they're like, I can't go on tour and sing and do this, I can't play, I have to go to bed. They have like, you know, the new version of rock is like no one's getting messed up or performing crazy. They're working hard. You know what I mean? It's almost like a new world.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this for a while though. Have you seen the change in like the attitudes of performers and musicians where it's like you're still having fun, but it's not like getting totally blasted and wasted all the time. It's more like, yeah, I'll have a drink, but then I gotta go to bed and we got a, you know, a session tomorrow or something. Have you seen that? Or is it just like we're still partying? No wrong answer. No wrong answer.
I think we're actually good at having fun and staying up late drinking maybe. And
you're also young. You're both like in what, your 40s, 30s. So I mean, you guys are still young enough to do it.
I'm 28, so I'm the
youngest. Oh jeez, you got years. Oh my god.
I think, of course, I don't know. I haven't been touring as much as you have, so I cannot answer the question properly.
I'm more calm. These days than the last decades for sure. But I still like to have my wine after the show and just like chill and have it
right. But you know what I'm saying, like the Purine Decadence where you're just like totally partying like before the show.
I don't. Well, I was pretty blasted when we came to Ripperbaum in Hamburg.
Yeah, we had a day off there.
But it happens every now and then. But I just don't enjoy being blasted anymore.
Right.
It's
No,
like
I understand that myself. You know, that's it's
it's
like
like
change.
I just can't take the hangover anymore.
To be 20 again and drinking, you know, that was easy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could remember, you know, and then
exactly.
you're like, no, I could do this forever. You
Yeah,
know, but then you start getting up, I think in the 30s and by 40s, you start feeling it a little bit more. So you get to
yeah,
your late 40s, you're like, all right, you know. And you realize that the real core of everything is just the music is the most fun, rewarding part. So
yeah.
it's still the best part of the deal. And you can
Hmm.
still have your drinks. But it's always curious
Yeah.
to see how you guys are doing it. And you being so young, you can get away with a lot still as a singer.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. What's the plans for this tour? Like, how are you going to do this with the new album? It's a good album. COVID's kind of opening up. Now, I know it's weird in Europe because of Brexit. Kind of still, they're kind of outlining things still, kind of how travel is. I think.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to try doing to really get this album out there?
You know, it's this year it's been overbooked by all bands. You know, so
Yeah.
it's been really hard to get to fit into 2022. You know,
2022.
Really?
so we don't have much. You know, in the summer, and
We
we have
just
Australia in the fall, and we're just hoping we get something more. You know, and
You guys should do the markets that
I
haven't
guess
been hit by other people. You know, where no one is, so they're starving. Go in there
yeah,
and then
something
start
like that.
building up
Yeah,
a new niche audience. So that way,
yeah.
you know,
we came home. Was it like
A few weeks ago from a
2.5 weeks
4 week tour.
uh,
So that was nice to be out, you know.
playing. But
it'd be good to see you on a package tour too, like something or a festival. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, we're
Yeah.
more exposed to more fans.
yeah,
yeah,
I think your performance and the energy is much more fun. It's very, you know, addictive.
thank
Yeah.
you.
yeah. We think so too.
Much
We're
to
working on it, you know.
Yeah,
I think, unfortunately, it's like we're gonna have to wait to next year
next
to
summer,
have like a lot of touring.
Mhm.
But we'll see what happens. You know,
Especially
we're-
festivals.
Yeah,
It's been really small amounts of festivals
Yeah.
coming our way. So
yeah.
hopefully we're gonna play more festivals next summer.
Is it because like submitting, or is it because, I mean, obviously over in Europe the festivals are great, and rock music, metal music, whatever you want to call it, is always been stronger and more loyal over in like Europe than in the U.S., which gets really picky and has waves of good and bad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Is it because there's just like so much? Because like say you guys just did a really great album. You know, a lot of the bands had like a year
Thanks.
or two to rest and say, I never had time to do a good album, and it's like you guys now have time. There's no excuse. So a lot of bands have also been putting out probably the best albums of their career.
Yeah.
And even if it's like a legacy band, it's kind of like, yeah, I got a couple songs. All of a sudden, this time, these guys had a full time to be home with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot out there. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I mean, I've worked
think
this album a lot. It's a good album. Don't let it get buried. It's too good an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You guys
we
gotta
know that.
Push yourself to the top.
But I mean, from experience, it's often like you release an album one year and then you get all the festivals next year.
Okay.
It
And
kind of
also-
takes time to let the album happen.
Mhm.
And Rust was released, you know, we were hoping for summer festivals. But
You're right.
yeah.
and I think basically most of the festivals had already booked their like artists from
Yep.
2020, so they were just postponed. So of course that is also a problem for
Mhm.
us.
You fall out of the cycle.
Yeah. So like I said, hopefully next year is going to be more festivals for us to play.
Yeah.
To come out there and show our new songs.
Yeah.
Awesome. So to wrap this up, I'm gonna say I want everybody to go check out your website. You know, get the album, support, get the merch. You know, how else can the bands keep in touch with the fans? You know, are we gonna see some more like videos, or at least to kind of spread it out? for the
Yeah,
album
we're gonna
and stuff
do
we can
more music videos, of course.
Yeah.
Release more singles. And I guess you can like connect with us on our socials.
Yeah.
You know, we try to answer as much as we can. You know.
Yeah, you guys are
we're
pretty good
also-
actually. I didn't have to reach out to anybody. I just kind of reached out to you, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it was really nice. It's a good thing.
We try to keep people informed.
Yeah.
But
Very
it's
cool.
just the social media thing is just like so much of everything. So it's really easy to miss certain messages. So email is probably the best way to connect with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one last question is, because now it's a challenge for a lot of good bands over there. Coming to the U.S. is even more of a challenge, right? If you guys go over here because of the visas and all that garbage.
Yeah.
Down the road, I mean, hopefully you'll make it over to the U.S. You know,
Yeah.
post COVID.
We've done it before, but not after COVID, of course.
Right.
I have a American passport, so I can just
look at you.
See you on the other side, dude.
See, man.
I have
We're looking at you, Gabriel. Somebody's got a passport.
Yeah. My dad is American, so I have a American passport as well.
Oh, good. Cool. Very cool.
Good for you.
Drumming situation. You have actually one more question. The drumming situation. You have a temp drummer. Not really. He's awesome. I've loved him in Hanoi Rock. So this is really good. It fits. You know, like sometimes when you have somebody come in and fill in, you're like, oh, who's this guy? Whatever. Totally makes sense. You know what I mean? Seamless. Yeah. Where are we at with that situation and the whole drummer? What's going on? Are you sharing or what's?
Well, we've we don't know really what Eric's plans are, but he just got sick of you know, certain band policies, I guess, and he was just like, I'm not gonna do this tour. So we're like,
I'm not really trying to take for dirt, but it's just like, because the three of you guys have, despite all the album, the three of you guys have been together for everything. And also feel like this is like your new album, got a great singer, everyone had some time. Like, it just feels like a weird time for him to be like, I'm gonna step back for a minute. He's the one in the interviews is a lot more animated, so it just really feels like, what's going on? Is he okay? Like, you know, as a fan, you're like, you know.
He is okay. But we don't know what the future lies. So, but it's not a bad situation.
No, we talk, so. And he helps us out with the tour. You know, he has like his own career as a he goes on tour with bigger bands, you know, not as a drummer, but as a technician, like a.
Okay.
He's very
so
good
he
at
has
it, so.
loads of work,
Yeah.
and it kind of got like we're starting to overlap, you know, our touring plans.
Okay, that makes more sense. There is a work-life balance, and there are a lot of musicians that, because of the industry, they carry something else, either industry-related, and usually it's a sound thing, or and they balance it out. Like they're managers, or they work in the, you know, they manage actor. Like they have similar things, and their careers allow them the flexibility. But sometimes, obviously, being in the music industry, and we had feast and famine with COVID. You know, the rules changed, where everything kind of came pouring back in, and you know, and it's a lot to choose.
He had a lot of work he could take, and we had a lot of like pending tours or whatever. We didn't know this, we didn't know that, and he was kind of like, I can't wait anymore, I can't take it, and he just decided, you know.
Okay, I'm actually, as a fan, that's really good to hear. That's really good to hear that you guys are just like,
and we're
he has work.
And we're really fine with that, you know. Let him take a break, and we'll just do this. Well,
you know, as a fan, you're like, oh my God, is it like, are they fighting? Is it like an alcohol thing? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Is he on some machine, like in Rockstar, getting stuff pumped into him? You're like, so hearing he's healthy and he's got a lot of work. You guys are talking, like, it's just no, you know, Moss, you guys are still brothers. It's still got, you have a great drummer coming in that totally fits. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better, waited for this to happen. If it had to happen, you know what I'm saying?
It's really nice to play with this Laku.
Yeah, he's
how'd you get him? I mean, he's
a friend of our manager, so I guess he just.
And he listened.
He's a firecracker.
First thing he did, he just called him like, "Do you want to do this tour with Crash? You know, it's pretty urgent." And he was like, "Yes, I can do it." like that. I'm free. And it turned out like we really clicked with the guy. He's like,
He's very funny. He's
very nice to be around, you know.
Good energy, and he's laughing all the time. So that was a good asset.
The whole
to the
tour
band.
was just a great big laugh.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I'd
was.
see his energy in the interviews, like from the Honey Rock stuff, and for him to come in from them, and to be in the newer version of that, and to like being the drummer in that seat of that band. I mean, let's face it, to be the drummer in that band, you get a lot of visual because of the history of that band and drumming, you know. And to, you know, I mean, Michael's a sweetheart. I've talked to Michael and Andy, and they're both great people. But to be, you know, legendary band, all that time with them, and survive and be upbeat in the interviews, that shows a, you know, a certain person, you know. So when I heard this, I was like, oh, he's a good guy for the band, you know.
Yeah.
And he's talented. I mean, he's a really good drummer. He has a special sound in his drumming.
He really genuinely loves the music, you know.
Yeah.
So he's really a fan now, you know, of our music. So
Excellent. Well, I hope he stays as long as, you know, if.
Yeah, he's his main band is like this huge Finnish band called Popida.
It's like the Finnish Rolling Stones.
Yeah, they play like really huge venues in Finland. Like they have this a few months a year when they tour like massively. So we can't have him then. But we'll see. If we can work around his schedule in the future, it would be awesome to have him. You know, we're trying to get him to Australia.
Yeah. Do you want to get a fill-in drummer of a fill-in drummer? Like a photocopy of a photocopy of a.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? This is our fill-in drummer for our fill-in drummer.
We have my brother as a fill-in also. You know, my brother's from a band called Toxic Rose, and
been filling in before.
he did a tour when we opened for Skid Row, like just before the pandemic.
Exactly.
But he couldn't do that 4-week tour because it was just like he couldn't.
Too bad. Did you wait? So this was before the pandemic that you just Skid Row?
Yes, just before. It was like in November 2019.
Now the new singer, huh? With Skid Row. Holy moly, they are back.
Eric
is a monster. He is the like Luca for a drummer. He is the perfect fit. He's what they needed. He's like an extra, you know.
Yeah.
Without him, it would be nothing, I guess.
I enjoyed the music, but like with the singers, I was never like so excited about it.
No,
now
exactly.
I'm ready to go. I go see him in tour now. Like I'm excited again because it's like it's the songs again. It's the energy without having to copy it. You know what I mean?
And he's I've seen Skid Row with CP, and CP is a really nice guy, but Eric is like the best they could ever get right now. So yeah, it's exciting again. It's Skid Row,
That's
as a fan.
It is. Well, guys, I want to thank you. I know it's.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm glad you guys can get off, and you guys are hours away from dinner and drinking wine, and I'm moments away from drinking a cup of coffee to start my day.
Yeah.